Happy Halloween from your Laker Radio Network.
Welcome back into the studio. My name is Derik Clark, and you're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. And for the next hour, it's me, and across the table, Jason Rude.
Yes, I'm back, man.
You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. And for the next hour, like I said, it's nothing but sports. Of course, as always, we start with Oswego, and then we transition to the world of national sports. And there is a wild variety of things going on in the world of sports this week, and what happened this weekend, and everything else. But we shall continue. So, first things first. To Oswego we go. And we're going to start with the turf as always, and we'll go over to the rink and all that fun stuff as well. So, first things first, we got to go over the turf side of things. Got to go over to the Oswego men's soccer team. Got to start with those guys. They finished their season with a 0-0 draw with Fredonia, with a 3-7-6 overall record and a 2-4-3 conference record. They're going to miss the playoffs after making the playoffs last year, which is a weird thing to say because last year, I talked about it earlier in the show, or not earlier in the show, earlier in the year on the show, that Oswego men's soccer was actually like pretty decently good at the sport of soccer. Like they were pretty good. And what ended up happening was just you get so many new guys and you try to change things up a bit, and worst things comes to worst, and just not happening, I guess, is the word to use there. I don't know, but that's the way you can look at it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, they did very, very well, at least for the season as it is. I mean, almost 17 shots per game, 10 shots per game, total of, I believe it's 169 shots. Overall, like, I think they did very well, decently, even though they probably lost some key players from last year. But, you know, biggest thing to do is keep on trying, keep on training, and just try to make some adjustments and changes within the next few years.
Yeah, no, and then you go over to the field hockey side of things. They lost 2-1 to Morrisville on Saturday. The team is currently 4-12 overall and 0-5 in conference play. They'll miss the playoffs, and definitely after making the playoffs last year as well. So another team that made the playoffs last year. Now, here's the caveat, though. The Lakers only made the playoffs last year because there was only 5 teams in the conference. Now you have 8, and they actually have to change that in a way. And so that is that. Because last year, I believe they also only had about the same amount of wins.
Yeah, next game will be against Alfred University on the road, and then they'll finish up the season against William Smith. But overall, I mean, there's not much to say. They're 1-7 at home. Most of their wins were on road games. They've lost the last 5, and I mean, outscoring, I mean, you see that they lost against Morrisville. They were able to score at least 1 goal thanks to Natalie Shields. But, you know, they lost 4-0 to Cortland. Then they did Roberts Welslin, I believe that's called, in Rochester. They just got completely shut out. They got shut out 4 games in a row. It is what it is. But, you know, field hockey is people don't appreciate field hockey as much, but it's a very hard sport, especially with how, you know, you have to be articulate with everything, especially shooting and passing with all the players around you and making sure that you can get it in. So,
yeah, I think that's true. And the field hockey team, especially, they struggled a lot offensively. So it's just a wild time to be on that side of the world of field hockey, and you just got to find your way through it. Mm-hmm. Now over to volleyball. This is the shocker. Volleyball lost 3-0. That's 3-0 to Cortland, falling 18-6 overall and 6-2 in conference play. The team is currently though second in the SUNYAC. Those 2 losses though. Very crucial because Cortland hasn't lost all year in conference play, so they have 2 games behind the Red Dragons of Cortland. Big shocker there. They play Tuesday night against Canton at home at the good old Laker Hall across the road. So
yeah, that will be their last SUNYAC. That will be their last SUNYAC conference game. Then they got Clarkson and Skidmore. Then they will start because they will qualify for the playoffs, and that will be November 11th.
That's going to be a fun one because even though they're second in the SUNYAC, I mean, it's just gonna be close. It's gonna be close in that SUNYAC, and I think they can make it to the final. It depends how the bracket lays out itself. So I don't know. I think we might get a little Oswego Cortland action in the Oswego final or the SUNYAC final out there.
Yeah, I could
in the
definitely see
SUNYAC
that.
volleyball side of things. All right, now we get to switch to the good side of soccer.
Yes.
The Oswego women's soccer team lost 2-1 to Fredonia, unfortunately, but they finished their season 6-5-5 overall with a 3-2-4 record in the SUNYAC, finishing 6th in the SUNYAC and locking up the last playoff spot. They will once again face Fredonia in the first round of the SUNYACs. So that is a crucial moment. You lose 2-1. That game was a little close. That game was close in the world of women's soccer, but They failed to play the game right, and you end up losing. But you get to play them again, and this time it means more. So I feel like if it means more, they'll probably step up their game. It depends. It depends how they want to play the game of soccer, I guess, that day. Yeah. But it is what it is, and I think they'll do well. I think they'll do pretty solid.
Yeah, I think the biggest threat right now is definitely the number 1 seeded Cortland Red Dragons with a conference record of 7-0. They have not lost in women's soccer, and they have a current record of 11-2-4 ties. I mean, they are pretty much the team to beat. Last time that we faced Cortland, we lost 2-0. But I have a very good feeling that once playoff time comes around for the Lakers women's soccer, I think that we have a very good chance at continuing our progress. And I have a feeling that when we go to Fredonia, we will get the W.
Yeah, I think that will be a big test of if they can do the right thing. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see in the world of women's soccer, I guess.
Yeah, Fredonia currently also leads in goals with. I
was about to say I believe they're second in the SUNYAC, if I remember correctly.
Yes, they are. No, they're third because Plattsburgh's second. Plattsburgh with a record of 6-1-2. Fredonia is 6-2-1 for women's soccer. Actually, Buff State is number 4 and New Paltz is number 5.
Yeah, should be a interesting game out there for our women's soccer team. Now we hit the ice, the part where Derik knows what he's talking about.
Yes, go ahead.
The Oswego women's hockey team fell 2-0 to Nazareth. Nazareth, by the way, great women's program. So I'm not kind of shocked that the Lakers failed there, even though they did come off of last year, but they lost a bunch of players.
It's an exhibition game, man.
And it's exhibition. But I believe Digby's going to be coaching about it. They do, though, play a 2-game series. You don't see this a lot anymore in Division III. This is something I actually kind of had to grow out of because back in Elmira, that's literally how it was always set up for every single conference. 2 teams would take a weekend. They'd literally travel, play Friday night, play Saturday night, and then leave that Saturday night as well. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be the case to the start of the year for the Lakers. They play 2 games, a 2-game series at home versus Castleton on Friday at 7, and then Saturday at 3. Both games, by the way, will be on Stream 2 here on WNYO.
Yes, tune in Stream 2.
It will most likely, right now it's just me, so you might hear solo Derik for a little bit.
That's all right, man.
That's all right. It is what it is, right? That's going to be interesting. I think the women's team this year for hockey is in a little bit of a limbo because, like I said, they have a bunch of new faces. Digby, who I'm really trying to get on the show. We'll see what happens, but Mark Digby, he's a great coach, and obviously it's the 20th year anniversary. By the way, they will be wearing their Laker Wave jerseys, which are the opposite of the men. The men got the colored jerseys, so back in the day, they had the yellow as home and white as away. They are getting the white away jerseys as their alternate Laker Wave. So that will be debuting on Halloween night over on Friday night. So that will be pretty spectacular for those women to wear that and debut it. But also, one thing, though, is this team has a lot of new faces, so they're just trying to rebuttal and rebuild themselves into a good program. You go into the SUNYAC last year, you play the SUNYAC final, you play against a rival, just like the men's side of it, and unfortunately you lose 2-0. I was on the call there with Mitch, and you hate to see it, but it's another burn for you because the women's team has no banners. They don't have any. This team, they brought back the program in 2001, and they literally have no record of anything. They don't have any, they don't have any SUNYAC championships. They don't have, back before they were in the SUNYAC, they were in the EC, I believe they were in the ECAC back in the 80s and 90s. And then before that, they were in the WAHC or whatever the heck that one was. and they don't have anything. They didn't win any. There's never been a conference championship ever, and to have that hit you kind of had to suck over there from Mark Digby, and you just got to build. You just got to rebuild, folks, at home. You just got to rebuild, and I think they're doing pretty solid. Castleton's a good women's program. A lot of people here probably don't know that. Castleton's pretty good at women's hockey. I remember dealing with them when I was at Mauer College. NEHC action, they were pretty good. They were pretty good in the women's side of the game of stick and puck. So it's a little interesting over there for our women's hockey team. Most definitely over there for the women's team. Of course, you flip the script. You go to a night game. Me and Rob Finger III, who's currently recording his show over at the WTOP studios.
Shout out Rob.
Shout out Rob. He's currently doing that, but we were on the air on Saturday night. Obviously, Thomas Sherman and Eric Palmieri were here in the studio doing the countdown to face-off action. So that was an interesting hockey game because it was teal night. Obviously, ovarian cancer and Mrs. Gosick and all that, honoring her with the Mary's Minute, all that. So a very powerful statement always on teal night. And you wear those teal jerseys, which, it's a very homage to ovarian cancer.
Yes.
The thing is, and I told this to Ed Gosick.
Is it hard to track?
I told him, I begged him next year to put those in white, trace them with white trim because.
Yeah, well, I
brutal.
ran camera for camera 3, which was like one of the action cams towards. I don't know specifically which way it was. It was towards the main one, not towards Perch. If you ever watch TOP and you watch the pregame show on the Perch. I was on the other side, and me trying to track everybody, and me thinking that Oswego was wearing the white jerseys, but they were wearing teal, but you could barely see their numbers and you could barely see the players' names, was a little bit stressful. But overall, it was a bit of a fun game. It wasn't the best game. But for an exhibition game and for the fact that it was a good cause, I think Nazareth did put up a very good fight, and they got the win.
Yeah, in Nazareth, they're a good men's team too.
Yes.
They're really interesting to watch on the men's side of hockey. But a 4-0 win, a combined shutout for all 3 goalies for Oswego because we played all 3 of them.
Yes.
Just an interesting situation for the men's team because usually you play 2 exhibition games and then you're on the ice Monday morning and you're getting ready for first regular season game. That's not the case for the men's team this year. This is the first time I've ever seen this. They get a week off before the start of the year, which is such an odd thing. They get a week off. They get the break. They get this whole week they get off. Their next game isn't until November 7th when me and Rob will be on the road. We'll be in Geneseo for the kickoff of the season out there at SUNY Geneseo. Not a SUNY-AC school anymore. No longer in the SUNY-AC. The SUNY Geneseo and SUNY Brockport, of course, left after last year. They left last year. So it's the first time in 2 years they've played each other, and it's the first time they will face each other since Geneseo left the SUNY-AC. They both Geneseo and Brockport, who they do play that weekend. Brockport comes here on Saturday. Those 2 teams left for the UCHC, which now has 18 teams. It's the biggest conference in Division III hockey.
I will say
because the NEHC they folded, so it's the whole thing.
Yeah, that week off for men's hockey. I don't agree with that statement at all. I believe that they should be able to get right back onto the ice and get their first matchup in the regular season for that next week. They get 2 exhibition games, and as we see, they performed very, very well. I think they did an awesome job against Nazareth, an even better job against St. John Fisher the week before. And their home opener will be Military Appreciation Night on that 8th against Brockport. So I'm excited to see.
We get the alternate jerseys again. We get that camo action.
Yes.
Which is
Camo
another
Lakers.
jersey that you can't read the numbers. I swear.
I'm sure
But they
it'll
actually
look cool,
they do those jerseys better though because of what they trim it in. They trim them in yellow.
Yes.
The new ones they actually trim the numbers in yellow so you can read them a little bit better.
The one that they wore when they were against St. John Fisher. I wasn't here when you covered that. When I was doing game cam for that, and they were facing St. John Fisher. Those jerseys with the Lakers on front, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was the Waker Wave jerseys.
Laker Wave, yes.
Yeah, so that was obviously thrown back to the 60s and 70s.
That's sick, man.
So this is a little odd because I'm going to end a little early before we go to break because I want to play the interview I had with Travis Baker.
Yes.
That was something the interview was great, and he even brought up the new goalie, Michael Manzi, which was
doing
an
a great
interesting
job so
interview
far
with that. So that is what I'll play for you guys. We'll come back, though, and we'll have national sports for you. A lot of weird things going on. There's some money involved. There's some weird things.
Little getting kind of fishy, man.
A little fishy. You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. Welcome back, Oswego hockey fans. I'm your sports director, Derik Clark here, back with another interview. This time, Travis Baker, who nailed 2 goals in the first period, the first exhibition game, just came off the ice for practice. How are the guys feeling right now after that first win? I know it's exhibition. I know the win doesn't count, but it's still nice to get it, I think. And I feel like you guys are getting a little bit of momentum, but do you agree on that? Do you think you guys are getting a little bit of momentum?
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to get a win in the books for the first time and put some pucks in the net, build the confidence up. I think we were a little sloppy, so I think we need to clean some things up system-wise, and we're enjoying it so far.
And what's your thoughts? What's as a player, what is your reaction to Ed Gosek? I feel like Ed has to be somewhat of proud of you guys to go up 8-3, but as you said, you guys feel like you've been a little sloppy in that first game. I feel like that's a little bit of some jitterbugs maybe, but do you feel like Ed has kind of prepared you for this game coming up against Nazareth?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Ed does a great job preparing us, and we work on everything in practice. I think, new guys coming in too, it's always new faces, new reads on the ice, and sometimes it takes a little bit of getting used to, but expectations are really high this year as we had a good year last year, and not a lot of guys leaving, so yeah.
Who's your new favorite guy to play with? There's not that many, but I know you only got one game in, but who's that guy that you've already kind of, from the new side, that's kind of, you like the play style you've agreed with?
That's a tough one. They're all pretty good to play with. I'm going to go with the goalie, though, because he's nice to shoot on in practice. It's fun how he stays on after, so yeah, it's good to shoot on Manzi.
Well, I appreciate it so much, Travis. Once again, it's Travis Baker with this interview this afternoon, taking on Nazareth for their final exhibition game before they take a week off and head into the regular season.
Hi, everybody. This is Steve Levy, Sports Center anchor on ESPN and proud alum of SUNY Oswego. And you're listening to WNYO Radio in Oswego, New York. Go Lakers.
Thank you, Steve. My name's Derik Clark. Across the table is Jason Root, and you're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network, and you're listening to Laker Sports Talk. And now, after talking about everything local sports here at SUNY Oswego, we got some national sports news.
Yes, sir.
And I think we should start right where it's been interesting, right to the world of the World Series. Before we jump too crazy, we got to go to the World Series. It's been a little crazy. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Dodgers are currently tied 1-1 in the World Series. Game 3 is in LA at 8 p.m., so right after the end of the show. The Dodgers still, though, after the unique win by the Blue Jays in Game 2, still are the clear favorites in the world of betting.
Yeah, I think that Toronto and just their story and just their gameplay between Vladdy and the rest of the Jays, I feel like they are the strong favorite to take Game 3 and go 2-1 here in the World Series. The Dodgers, they are a little bit shaky, and I think maybe with this being a home game, possibly they do have some chances. They are currently projected from ESPN Analytics with 67.9. Don't you dare say 6-7. And basically, sorry, I had to do it. Anywho, they are some of the favorites. And again, when you look at the Dodgers and you look at that stacked team, you would put them as the favorites. But just the story of the Blue Jays coming back from what seemed to be like a endless couple of seasons of just nothingness, finally getting this chance to shine and being in this position that they're in, I have a very good feeling that they can go all the way.
Yeah, no, I agree too. I think they can. I think the Dodgers have a little bit of a hand, but I'll tell you what, the Blue Jays, I wouldn't count them out though. I think this series goes to 6. I really do. I don't think it goes to 7. I don't think this goes to 7. I think this goes to 6.
Some people are saying it might go to 7, but I mean, I would rather just see it end pretty much at 6. I think Game 6, if it would happen, would be on Halloween, so that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's whether it's the Dodgers or the Jays, but we're hoping for the Jays, it'll be a very entertaining series. I feel like this is some of the most watched, viewership in MLB. I did a report that it's up by like almost 20% of what last year's was, and even that. Like,
I think
a
big reason for that viewership spike is probably Toronto.
Oh, for real? Yeah,
because
everybody loves to see that Toronto's moving up.
You look at Toronto and you look at the city of Toronto, and it's quite sad.
It has not been the same.
The
since
Raptors,
the Raptors
the Raptors are the last time it's been that it's this way. And you look at the Maple Leafs; they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. That's not good.
Chance, man.
The Toronto Argonauts, which is their CFL team, I believe, haven't won the title since like 2014. But nobody really watches CFL football. I'm going to be honest with you. So I mean. Now you just gotta hope your MLB team plays good football or good baseball, and so I don't know. So I don't know. My Texas Rangers won the World Series in 2023. I don't care who wins it at this point. So.
Quite literally, it's just us rooting for. Let's be honest. Like, people are gonna be like here that are Yankees fans or Mets fans. They're gonna be like, oh, screw the Blue Jays. Nobody cares. But it's like. Dude, there are neighbors up north. You gotta cheer for them, man.
You gotta give them a little
respect.
Especially for us. Well, the thing is like you look at Montreal, you look at
the
Quebec
Montreal
as a whole.
Expos, like,
you look at Quebec as a whole. You know what's going on up there, right? With this whole World Series thing, they aren't rooting for the Blue Jays. They're not. They're rooting for the Dodgers up there because they want their Expos back.
Oh,
that's the whole thing up there.
That makes sense.
And you know what? I agree with them. I think the Expos should go back. But what do I know? Dude.
If they
could go off without expansion.
The Jays should just do an alternate jerseys where 1 or 2 nights during a game or whatever at home at Rogers Center, they just basically call themselves the Expos.
They can't. The Expos are the. What did the Expos become? I'm about to say. Look that up. I forgot.
We got it.
It might have. Oh, the Nationals. It was the Washington Nationals.
Oh, that makes sense.
The Washington Nationals.
But,
the Washington Nationals. I was like, I know it's somebody on the East Coast.
Yep, Washington Nationals in 2005.
Yep,
Major League purchased the Expos and moved them to DC.
Yep.
And renamed them the Nationals. Jeez, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
they just did a Netflix documentary on what happens to the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, Montreal is such an interesting place because you have the Montreal Canadiens. Quebec as a whole. You don't have the Nordiques. You don't have your Expos.
I need to go to Canada. Have you been to Canada?
I've been to Canada a couple times.
Man. I need to
just
go to Canada,
Ontario. Just Ontario. I've never really been further
that's
up. But
fine. All of Canada is actually very special, man.
But over we go to the NFL.
Oh yes,
interesting
NFL.
news. Obviously, Cam Scadaboo had a scary injury. The reason I bring it up, Jackson Dart's reaction, kind of an interesting situation over there in the Giants.
What is going on with the Giants, man?
I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for him over there.
How do the Giants look so favorable?
I'll root for 'em.
Jackson Dart getting them their first win over an undefeated Chargers team, which so far has been looking subpar. Then they lose to the Saints of all people, giving them their only win of the season. Then they go and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in an incredible fashion. Then they fall, give up 33 points to the Denver Broncos, who just completely whooped the Dallas Cowboys over the weekend. And now they lose one of their top rookie running backs, and they got to somehow get finished with the rest of the season with how they're playing.
Such an interesting team out there in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Of course,
the New Jersey.
Their stadium.
MetLife.
What's the word I want to? Their stadium.
Turf?
No. Neighbor? No. Roommate, I guess. The New York Jets. I guess you'd call them the roommate. Of course, beating the Bengals. getting their first win.
Their first win, a incredible comeback off of a trick play with Bryce Hall. Is it Brees or Bryce? I always forget. Bryce Hall, yeah. That trick play, they win 39-38 against Joe Flacco.
All right, here we go. No, it was an interesting day for them. I'm glad the Jets got a win.
Yeah, no more winless teams, man.
Yeah,
no more winless teams.
Such an odd thing to say.
And then, of course, how about them Texans?
I'll tell you what.
26-15, man.
I'll tell you what. I'm proud of them. I don't know how to feel about them. You know, we're still below 500. We're 3-4 now. We play a tough team. We play Denver next week. That's going to be a test. I really do. I think we beat them? I don't know. It's going to be a defensive football game. I just need C.J. Stroud and the O-line to not crumble, which they didn't do against San Francisco. So if they could get that in next week, I think we go 4-4.
I said this to you. I said if CMC is not into the game, the Niners have no shot because of their injury and because of everything that they have lost on IR within the first couple of weeks in the NFL season. Because overall, like, who do they have other than Kittle on the receiving end? And then their defense is a couple of washed up people. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Now we go over staying with the NFL. We got to talk about the Colts.
So the
Colts,
I did research. Now, it's a mid change, all right? Last two seasons, they've been 25th in defense, 20th in passing, and they were 13th in points per game in the last two seasons with only 22.7. So far in the first half of the season, they're 22nd in defense with only 2,761 yards allowed. They're fourth in passing, believe it or not, get this, 2007. Remember the last time they were as big as they were? 2007 with Peyton Manning, baby. Then, right now, an abysmal 33.8 points per game. They are scoring 30 points per game. We have never seen the Colts do this. And more importantly, they're doing this with Daniel Jones, of all people? I wish I had done stats on him, man.
I'll tell you what, the Indianapolis Colts are the scariest team in the AFC South, and it scares me to say that as a Texans fan. We need 2 wins, and we need them bad against the Colts. I don't know if it's going to happen. Week 13 is our first game against them. I don't know how that all is going to work out.
I don't know any other team that could potentially beat the Colts. Their only loss was against the Rams. And again, like I had said before, the Rams and that entire NFC West is just something to look upon. They might lose to the Steelers. I think A-Rod might have a good chance.
I can see that. Or
the Chiefs.
See, the Chiefs are interesting because they're kind of mid.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Chiefs later when we cover Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So we got to go over to a different sport. The league just started up its regular season. The NBA. My Dallas Mavericks aren't doing too hot to start it, but it's all right. But it's not what's happening on the court. Well, kinda. It's kind of what's not happening on the court when it comes to rooting for your team. More like rooting for your money.
Jeez, man.
The NBA has made a scandal. More than 30 people were arrested and charged for what they said were 2 separate but related criminal investigations, all related around betting. I know you have the whole story with it, Jason. I'm going to let you read it because you typed it out way better than me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll go by this really quick before we go into any type of break. But it was the morning of last Friday. It was actually at the end of the Thunder-Pacers game, which was the second back-to-back game that the Thunder went into double overtime. First one was their opener against the Rockets and Kevin Durant, and then they faced the Pacers, went into double overtime back-to-back, and instead of going into the highlights, that's when the story broke out that the FBI announced more than 30 people had been charged with 2 separate but related criminal investigations. The first one that broke was Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat. He was actually one of the bench players. He didn't get any minutes. And Damian Jones, who was the former Cleveland Cavalier player and assistant coach, were among 6 people who were arrested for alleged roles in sports betting conspiracy. But the biggest one came out of current, or I should say former, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups. That's right, that same Chauncey Billups that was a part of the Detroit Pistons in the early 2000s. He was arrested because apparently he was running some type of poker scandal. Billups and Jones, who was a defendant in the sports betting case, participated in rigged poker games dating back to 2019, where organizers allegedly used former players as face cards to attract unwitting players, aka anybody to put their money in, that were rigged with technology such as modified shuffling machines and X-ray poker tables. I never even knew things like this existed, and I'm not even a gambler. But like to do players and other people and have them lose their money, which I believe the reported number was certain people for like each person was like over $1.9 million they ended up losing, which like that's insane. And they've been running this for over 6 years. Like, how in the world do you let this go for this long? And the thing with Terry Rozier is basically he let a childhood friend know, De Niro Laster, that he would fake an injury and leave a game when he was on the Charlotte Hornets early, and basically told him to bet like an over-under. So he purposefully faked an injury, walked out of the game, and the guy won the money and then sent the money back to Rozier. And it's like, these are multi-million-dollar players and coaches who are still doing sports betting. Why are you doing sports betting? It's not like you need the money. I mean, Derek, what do you think about this, man?
I mean, dude.
Like, have you ever seen this,
like,
man?
I don't even know how, like, the poker. I remember seeing the device they used for the shuffling machines.
Shuffling machine to like do.
I remember them. They had somewhat of a picture that showed the whole like X-ray system for the poker table. This doesn't surprise me though. Like it's obviously a big shocker. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
but
like players are gonna bet, but like
this just fuels the fire. Of all the people that are like, oh, professional sports are rigged and blah, 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 this actually fuels their fire. And you know what? I kind of have to agree with them now if something like this comes out.
Especially with the NFL, bro, with how crazy the games have been. You can't tell me things are looking rigged with how every game is so 50-50. And, like, there are teams when you don't even expect it. The Ravens, who absolutely were trash the last 2 weeks after starting Cooper Rush, they start Tyler Huntley and beat the Bears, who won 4 games in a row. Like, I don't even know how that's even possible, but, like, with this, I mean, why are these multi-million-dollar players like Terry Rozier and coaches who is a current coach of a national basketball franchise like Billups, why are they doing sports betting in the first place if they're already making money?
You know, it's the love of the game, I guess.
The game, yeah, sure. But like,
the love of sports betting is the game, but you know that's what's gonna happen when you make it legal. I think it's a weird thing. I don't know. I could sit here and give you like a conspiracy theory style of talking, but the one thing I'll say is just the aspect of gambling as a whole is always gonna be a big money grab and.
Man.
And you look at Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, sports are crazy, man, and
yeah, there's a rumored investigations that they're going to go through all 30 teams. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be like hush money, and it's going to basically be like, okay, we got the 3 people, the main 3 people, have it go away.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I don't know. I think there's going to be some interesting things to come out of this, and it's just going to be a whirlwind. I've seen it in minor league sports that there's a bunch of gambling.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
But yeah, we got to go to break though. When we come back, more in the world of national sports. You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
You're tuned into 88.9 WNYO, the Laker Radio Network.
Welcome back into the studio. My name is Derik Clark. Across the table is Jason Rude.
Yes.
And welcome back to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. And man, oh man, we gotta go racing around the track. I know my brother.
Turn left, baby.
I know my brother is listening to this. He's gonna love this.
Could
part.
He call back? Can you
go back? I don't know. He's not allowed to go back. But I will talk about this because this is something. The NASCAR playoffs started a few months ago, and I said at the beginning of the playoffs, I always call my brother at night, and I call him and we were talking about stuff, and we brought up the NASCAR playoffs, and And I said, William Byron he's looking good, and he's fought his way through. And I was like, William Byron, he's going to be in that championship 4. He was in the cutoff line. He was in 5th. He wasn't supposed to be in the championship 4. Going to Martinsville. Final race of the Elite 8 in the world of NASCAR. And he gets the win. He gets the job done. He wins in Martinsville. He gets the grandfather clock, as the trophy is over there in Martinsville. He's in the championship 4. But it's the crazy way Kyle Larson got into the championship 4. He didn't win. Kyle Larson's known for winning, folks. Kyle Larson, he's great in the dirt track world. He's great in the short track world. He's great in the world of NASCAR. He's known for winning. He didn't win. But all he had to do was be ahead of somebody and get into the 4th and final spot. And that's what he did. But the guy who he beat was Ryan Blaney. That's who he finished ahead of. Ryan Blaney was knocked out of the playoffs. The current NASCAR champion can't retain his title next week. Such a weird situation there for Ryan Blaney. For the people that don't know, the 4 that are in are Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, by the way, is the only one out of that 4 being named that have won a championship. That championship was 2021. Next week, they race in Phoenix. By the way, the favorite is currently tied. The 2 favorites tied are Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. So an interesting situation over there in the world of NASCAR. Now, here's the crazy part. This might be the second to last or even the last time that we have the championship format. Allegedly, they're going to go back to the 36 races point system, just like you see in F1, just like you see, in literally every motorsport faction ever that isn't NASCAR. So, interesting dilemma. The reason they made the championship format, the reason they made the stages format is all because of the new fan base. You have younger fans and yada, 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 points, bull crap, all that fun stuff. And they're like, this isn't really working, and they're losing viewership. And so they're like, we might have to bring back the normal point system. So I don't know. The world of F1's the world of F1, and people watch it, so why not bring it back? I don't know. They've been adding a lot more road courses, so who knows? But that is the world of motorsports. But now, it's time for
Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. Monday Night. Monday Night. Monday Night. Monday Night. Monday Night Football. 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 Monday Night for ESPN.
That's right, Monday Night Football, baby.
Monday Night Football.
Welcome back to another edition of us hopefully getting the right pick for Monday Night Football.
Have we ever gotten a right pick for Monday Night
I don't
Football?
know. Last week I picked my Texans, and we know what happened there.
Good Lord.
So,
Poor
who
you.
knows?
Poor you, man. Jeez.
But it's Monday night, baby.
Yes, we got Monday Night Football. It is the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Washington Commanders. Now, of course, earlier in the season, this would have been a pretty cool matchup, but so far hasn't looked so good.
Yeah, flip of the records here. Commanders coming in 3-4, Chiefs coming in 4-3. A little bit of flipping of the records, if you will. And one thing I will say, they don't have Jaden Daniels over on the World of Washington.
Yes, that's right. We got the former Oregon Duck and the former standout in the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota.
College football legend out there in Oregon.
Lord, I mean, Marcus Mariota, making a start against Kansas City. I mean,
hey, maybe that's what he needs. He's a college football legend. This Commanders team kind of plays college football when it comes to having Jaden Daniels behind the center. So I don't know. Maybe they get some luck with good old Marcus Mariota.
Well, Commanders are coming off of a incredible loss against the Cowboys. They lost 44-22. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have been riding high, 2 back-to-back big 30-point wins. The first one being against the Lions. Then last week, their shutout against the Raiders. No surprise. And basically, I mean, the Chiefs are currently the favorite. But if the Washington Commanders end up coming out of this game looking good and they end up somehow picking the W, number one, shows Washington still got some kicking left into it. And number two, this leaves so many questions for the Kansas City Chiefs to start out the season 4-4. If they lose, I mean, there's a lot of question about what is really going on down there in KC, man.
Yeah, no, I think this is a tale of old times, folks. This is respectfully both teams' 8th game of the year, and it's an interesting, very interesting situation. I really have no idea who comes out because it's similar on both sides of the football.
Yes.
Both teams are trying to say, "Hey, we're a good football team."
Well, remember, like, it's even they're both third in their conference. Washington is behind Dallas, who is tying them 3 and 4 and 1 tie, of course, which gives them the extra kick to go up to second in the NFC East. And so is the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, this is probably the weakest start we have ever seen for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 4 and 3, and they're behind Los Angeles, who got their win over the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football, which, if you did see the report, Carson Wentz will be out for the rest of the season. Again, I don't have his specific injury that he had. He tore something I saw in one of
I
the
think it
things.
was his MCL. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
It wasn't the ACL. It might have been ACL. Dude, it was something. He tore something.
Yes, season-ending injury. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Yeah,
real
no,
quickly.
yeah, you could do that.
Shoulder. It
Shoulder.
was,
Shoulder.
Yes, undergoing on his left shoulder injury. And again, JJ McCarthy is, so far not responsive. So I don't know who they have. I think they said that Desmond Ridder had spent 3 weeks on the roster earlier this year, and then it was Brett Rippon. He had spent last season as the number 3, but was waived in training camp and is now on the Indianapolis Colts practice squad. So I don't know. Personally, I'm just going to say I got the Chiefs taking the win here, 27-23. I got a good feeling that Mahomes is going to get a good comeback game here for the Chiefs, and I think that the Chiefs are going to start building up momentum like they always end up doing, and whether this is from ref shenanigans or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Here we go again. You want me to talk about sports betting?
Go ahead, man.
No, you know what? Screw it. I'll give you guys some real things. I'll tell you something.
Yeah, by the way, current sports betting right now, the middle line is plus 500 on the Commanders and under 800 for the Chiefs.
As someone who works in the world of sports,
Yes, sir.
it's such an odd thing to say. My dad, my parents, mostly my parents, but my dad especially, really joked about, it's rigged, this and that. My dad's also a Bills fan, so who knows? But one thing I will say, with the NBA thing, it could be. Honestly, it could be. The thing is I don't think it's the players.
Real quickly, did you see the clips from Terry Rozier? You don't have to pull it up now. You probably have seen them. Did you see the clips from Terry Rozier from one of the? I think it was against the Charlotte Hornets last year.
The one.
Have you seen the one where he completely when he was looking at one way, he passed the ball purposefully so it would be a turnover and go over on to the other side.
Yeah.
And then he would be shooting shots and airballing it purposefully, and he would be throwing the game purposefully. Yes, there are certain players that if they want to, they will completely, get rid of any type of credibility as a player, and they will lose it all. And it'll suck for them.
It's such an interesting situation over there. And I think mostly when you look at the way the game has been played in every sport, you look at the White Sox back in the 1918?
Yes.
They threw the World Series. It was all rigged. So, I mean, if it happened then, you could say that it happened now. This Monday Night Football game, the reason I bring it all up, this is a game that matters. The Commanders need a win. The Chiefs need a win. They both need a win. They They need to show that they matter. They need to show that
they need to get out of the slump that they are in, because how they were last year. I mean, the Chiefs were what, undefeated until week 9 when the Bills faced them?
I believe so.
Yeah, they were undefeated, even though those were horrible officiated games. There were so many games where there was some missed pass interference calls. But they were doing so well. And then so was the Commanders. Jaden McDaniels having one of the most breakout rookie seasons we have ever seen, and in Washington of all places. So both of these players, or both of these teams, they need this win crucially to get out of their conference.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think they need a win, and then going into the world of predictions here.
Yes.
And I'm gonna make you go, what?
I said 27-23 if you missed me.
There's and you had the
I had the Chiefs winning.
The Chiefs. I'm going to give you 2 here.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to give you a weird 2.
Go ahead.
1, I think the Chiefs win.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say 30-24.
Okay.
Okay?
I see that.
Second, I could also see this game ending in a tie.
No.
And the reason I murmur those words is because of the defensive side of the football. Both teams have good defense.
God, yes.
Both teams have good defense. So I really think... I hate to say it. I hate ties. The dreaded tie is the worst thing of all time. It's the worst thing in sports. It should be banned in the world of sports.
Yeah,
sports
betting.
I really see that this game could end in a tie.
Funny enough, if you saw when they were breaking the story on ESPN that morning when the story broke out, there was a reader, you know how they have the sliders, the tickers at the bottom of the the TV where it's talking about the upcoming games, the upcoming stuff. Dude, they were betting stuff, and there was commercials for ESPN Bet, and they completely had to take them off the screen while talking about sports betting. I mean, oh my gosh! But
it's a world. It's a weird world we live in, and I mentioned it before we went to break. The world of minor league sports, it's betting central down there, and you look at it's insane.
When you're talking about the defensive, by the way. Chiefs currently number 5, just under 280 defensive yards per game. The Commanders, believe it or not, 27th.
Really?
363. They have allowed 18 touchdowns this year to the
Really?
Chiefs 14. Yeah, so honestly,
wow,
the Chiefs have a stronger defense, man.
Never mind. I'm taking the wrong way.
Now, real quickly, speaking of football, do you want to talk about your Texas Longhorns? Why not, man? You don't want to talk about that last minute overtime win against Mississippi State?
We won. That's all that matters. Manning, he's probably hurt.
20th in the AP.
It's whatever in the world of college football, in my opinion. Do I think we make the playoffs? No. Do I think we make a bowl game? Probably. Where? Probably the Fiesta Bowl, like the last time. And they always put us in the Fiesta Bowl. I don't know if it's because we're Texas. I don't know. But it's always Fiesta.
Well, we're in week 10. We're in the week 10 matchup. So we're getting very close to what will end up being the bowl eligibility. There's a couple of people that are bowl eligible. I think Memphis is currently bowl eligible. And some of the big matchups for this upcoming week, like you talked about, Texas will take on Vanderbilt. It is at home for Texas.
Big game.
That'll be very, very big.
Might not have Arch. That's big.
Yeah. Another huge game that will end up happening will be Oklahoma versus Tennessee.
Big game there.
That'll be a big game.
Hate the Sooners.
7:30. The Volunteers, the Vols.
I'm rooting for the Volunteers. I hate the Sooners.
Yeah, and then the other ranked matchup. This will be in the late time slot, but it's going to be Cincinnati and Utah.
That's gonna be an odd face-off.
Cincinnati currently is 7-1. I have a very good feeling that if they continue this momentum, I mean, there's a couple of teams that could fall by the time that we reach week 12. But man, also equally, the CFP and the NCAA football world is completely being shaken. Losses left and right. Indiana's number 2, Texas A&M's number 3, Oregon's down to number 6, Georgia Tech of the ACC being number 8. When was the last time you ever heard Georgia Tech having an 8-0 record at the start of the season?
Georgia Tech, man, they know how to build some technology and they know how to play some football. Apparently.
Yes, sir.
I think they know what they're doing over there in Georgia. College football is weird. Pro sports are apparently a gambling ring. College sports in Division III world, all our fall teams pretty much suck except for 2. Our hockey team's still like a good hockey team.
And
Monday
we're just
night
waiting
football.
for that snow to run. We're waiting for that snow, baby.
The snow, baby. I'm
Let's
waiting for
go.
it. Waiting for it. We should bring snowcross to Oswego, dude. Get the snowmobiles fired up.
Yes,
I don't know.
sir.
I'll tell you what, it's been a whirlwind of the world of sports. I'll be back next Monday, of course, right here in the studio. And it has always been a pleasure with Jason Root across the table.
Yes, sir. Pleasure with you as well.
And it's always been a pleasure serving you, the listeners here at WNYO. It's been a great Monday night. Monday Night Football starts in like 25 minutes. I got to get that thing on my TV and watch some football.
Yes, sir.
You've been listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
For more Laker Sports Talk, listen to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network, Monday nights at 7 p.m.